I'm the rap game's financial advisor. Dropping beats that'll make you go higher. I got an 808 with metal undertones. Gonna school you about crypto, make you take loans. Stacking stacks, yeah, that's the goal. Invest in the crypto, watching all the phone. Bitcoin, ethereum, Litecoin, and more. I'm diversifying portfolios like never before. Cryptocurrency got the game in a frenzy. Financial literacy, that's the key to play. I'm spitting knowledge, making moves that count. And turning sturdy stacks into millions, no doubt.
What's good, everybody? We're back at it again with another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. I hope you guys are ready. Hope you're having a good week. Hope Hump Day is treating you well. Those of you who get to see it today, day of recording, Sunday, October 6th. Obviously, these record a little bit in advance, but those of you who get a little bit of early access, kudos to you. Hope you like it. Hope you're enjoying. Tap in with me down in the comments. Let's have some conversation. First and foremost, got to give a shout out to the sponsor of the show, Delta Investment Tracker app. If you are not using Delta or haven't given it a shot, I got a referral link down in the description below, along with a plethora of other referral links. But that referral link is special because I don't get anything from that. It just lets them know that you found them via the Wolfpack, via Reckless Ray Dinero over here at Crypto Portfolio Updates. We're going to have some big things coming to the channel and the platform, so that's going to be interesting. We've got some, like, I realize that the way that I'm doing my YouTube channel is just algorithmically a dead end, so we're going to be making some adjustments. We're going to be parsing this out a little bit. We will continue to have probably trim down clips of Crypto Portfolio Updates over here. I'm going to be hashing out Crypto Portfolio Updates and Future Financial Strategies into their own channels, so that way they can get some traction in the algorithm, because it's next to impossible to pinpoint what I'm doing over here because there's so much stuff. And looking to the OGs, looking to the people who've been doing this a lot longer than me that are getting a lot more traction than I am. They literally have channels that are focused on a topic. And that's apparently what the YouTube algorithm wants. So we are going to be parsing it out. It's all going to be under the same umbrella. I'm going to come up with a cool, witty name for that. But it will have a separate channel that's just that specific for the algorithm, because I do realize that that's one of the things I'm doing wrong. I wanted to go ahead and muscle my way on through this and do it the way that I wanted to do it. But I will get negative, next to no traction any further than where I'm at with what I'm currently doing. So we'll be doing live streams. You catch me on panels over here on my core channel. I'm probably going to start throwing in some more fitness, spice of life stuff I'm into that I'm doing on this channel, just to kind of keep some stuff on it. And I'll be taking clips from the other things I'm doing, but pretty much this will be specific for shorts, clips of the other shows on this channel. Will filter through here for those of you who are dialed in at the source. And then Crypto Portfolio Updates will have its own channel that will just talk about crypto. It'll just be crypto all day, all time, all the crypto things. And I think that's going to be cool. And then we'll also have Future Financial Strategies. It's just the only inconvenience there is the upload. So as those channels launch, I'll do community posts to let you guys know to go over and subscribe to those for those of you that are specifically here for the crypto stuff. We'll be doing that because while I do this for documentation, I would like to get the traction and the credit I deserve. So we're gonna start really focusing in on hacking that good old algorithm, I guess, and doing some stuff over there. We're also going to have special, I guess, channel exclusive live streams. I don't know. I actually think I'm going to keep that all encompassed over here on Guns and Butter. We're going to bring Guns and Butter back. That's what I'm working on right now. But anyways, let's jump on into it. Let's get to talking and get through the fun stuff, and then we'll get into the other stuff. Let's make me small. see what we got going on the screen here. First and foremost, we are going to open my portfolios. Tab, boom. Okay, get that going. First and foremost, we're looking at the key metrics. Bitcoin dominance has gone back up to 54.3%. Ethereum dominance has dropped down to 12.9%. Gas fees are at 4.028, which is low, few buck transactions. You can't complain about that. Let's see. Jumping down into, shout out to CoinGecko for giving us this wonderful information and the content that we're talking about. Right now, we got Bitcoin at the time of recording is at $62,759.57. I almost said 50 never cents, but it's 57. Top trending coins. SPX 6900 is number one. Popcat is number two. GigaChat is at number three. GigaChat working his way into the top three trending. I love it. All right. Ooh. Nice. That is nice. Okay, so now we've got some interesting numbers and some low numbers. I like this. Low numbers and high numbers. Hold on, let's see here. What are we doing? Let's hit it again. Can we get you in order? There we go. No, you're still not in order. What are you doing? Okay, I see what's going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it doesn't matter because it's not in the top 5, so it doesn't affect us one bit. Okay, we're going to start off with our top 5 gainers, and hopefully some of you degens out there have made a bag. At number 1, we have at rank 814, we have Moodeng, Moodeng, with a gain of 262.4%. Now, you guys better get used to hearing numbers like these and more insane numbers, because coming up in the bull run, the whole list is going to be like this. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're going to hopefully be seeing some people that are hitting some of these wins, some of these big wins. I love seeing people win big. I like seeing people consistently on this list. Like, you have a coin that's in the top 5 top gainers every day for 5 days. Ooh, lives could change. At number 2, we have at rank 201, we have SPX 6900 SPX with a gain of 62.2% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have at rank 636 Keyboard Cat base KEYCAT with a gain of 48.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have Pups World PE Ace Pups PUP at rank number 332 with a gain of 49.3%. This is actively updating. Oh, a buddy of mine's going to love this one. At rank 710, we've got Zencoin, ZYN. I don't know what the cult following with those Zen pouches are, but he loves them. So shout outs to you, friend. You know who you are with those Zen pouches. I wonder if you got some Zen coin. I'm going to have to shoot you a text this week and find out. With a gain of 46.7% in the last 24 hours. Now, moving over to the top 5 losers in the last 24 hours. At number 1, we've got at rank 489, FU, given the big FU with a loss of 30.5% in the last 24 hours. At rank number 2, at rank 776, we have Pixar Eternity, PXT, with a loss of 18.6% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, at rank 180, we have Aleo, ALEO, with a loss of 12.6% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 419, Wrapped Quill, QUIL, with a loss of 12.3% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at number 4, we have Punk City and rank 772 with a loss of 11.3% in the last 24 hours. Okay. And hold on a second. Let me get back over here. Get over into here. Mouse gets dusty and then it doesn't want to do anything. Okay, so overall, the portfolio, before we jump in, is down 11.5% with a portfolio change of an increase in 1.5% in the last 24 hours. We are in a sideways holding pattern, and I am fine about it. We're going to bring it on over here. We're going to go through the list. It's going to be pretty much the same as last time, maybe a little bit different. I don't know. After we get down to around 10, they start swapping around. There's some motion down there. We're getting ready, getting lined up for our next buy. We've got payday coming up this Friday, Bag Fortification Friday. It's a Friday that I look forward to every other Friday because I get paid bi-weekly. So we'll be putting a little bit more money into the market. Won't be putting as much as we did last month because last month we did swing for the fences. It was a bloody month of September. October is not looking like it's going to be doing so much of that. So we are focused back on our velocity banking strategy, which means the majority, the lion's share of our income is going towards debt elimination. With that said, we are lining ourselves up to make some dents in some debt, which I am all about and very much a fan of and very, very into, very focused, very ready to have some of these things eliminated so that I can make some moves because we're about ready to start car shopping, and in getting ready and prepped for that, we are looking at obviously a lot of our options that we have, and yeah, just kind of dialed in, focused, and trying to eliminate some of this debt. So we're going to make some lion's share leaps this month into the next few months. Obviously, coming up tax season, we're going to have a hit on the income. Actually, we're going to have a growth in our income portfolio because we're just not going to be cashing it out to manage debt. So we want to get into the most manageable state possible. Probably looking to make that purchase post tax payment. Like once my taxes are paid up and we figure out where the dust settles on that, we'll be looking at new car, doing some stuff along those lines. But as it sits right now with the crypto, we are in a holding pattern. Everything's moving sideways, but we're still going to be making buys. And even with the reduction in capital going into the market, we are going to be focusing on making sure some capital does go into the market because I still got a few plays. I got a few positions that I want to get up to over that $1,000 marker and, you know, have them floating around the top 10 position, locked, loaded, ready to go for the upcoming bull run. So let's jump on in and take a look at this top 10. First and foremost, we are going to have Solana, SOL. At number 2, we are going to have Injective, INJ. At number 3, we are going to have Ethereum, ETH. At number 4, we are going to have Superverse, SUPER. At number 5, we are going to have Thorwallet DEX. At number 6, we are going to have Jupiter Perpetual's Liquidity Provider Token, JLP. At number 7, we are going to have Camelot Token Grail, GRAIL. At number 8, we are going to have Radium, RAY. At number 9, we are going to have Akash Network, AKT. At number 10, we are going to have Celestia, TIA. Those are my top 10. That's what we're rolling in with. But we've got Immutable X down here. And actually, I think and Thorchain. I do want my Thorchain position. I want that as well. That's another one that we're going to be looking at. Like I want that Thorchain position up for the bull run. We also might be adding in a bull run link allocation as well. Dang, there's a few down here that I might be interested in coming back and visiting. But Immutable X is next up on the chopping block to get bought into the fold. So we got some Immutable X to purchase. That's going to be the next one. We're going to be looking at our Celestia position because we might have a little bit more Celestia to purchase as well. But I think we're up over the $1,000 marker, so I might let that ride. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So today we are talking about Bull Run Preparation 101. I keep having to revisit these topics because I keep seeing people talking and trying to move in and out of the market ahead of the bull run. We're not even in the bull run yet, and they think they're moving and shaking. It's crazy. Bull run preparation. Let's talk about it. First thing, most important thing, have a plan. You have to have an exit. You have to have an exit strategy. You have to be prepared and knowing when you're going to start dollar cost averaging out. The people who try to time the exact top to sell everything are the ones who fail the worst in the market. Normally what you do is you have a certain point, give or take, say 200%. You get 200%, you start clipping. You start selling off your initial investment. Let it run, but every 200%, sell off the initial again. So that way you walk with something. That's the first thing, is knowing when and how to get out of the market. Now, I always recommend people dollar cost average out of the market. Like, I don't advocate for, nor do I personally myself have a certain point where I sell everything. I always dollar cost average out, because that way, if it does start going up and it continues to run and you wake up and you go, hey, like I'm up 200, 300%, sell your initial investment, let it ride for a little bit. That way, as it continues to go up, you're continuing to capitalize on those gains. You're continuing to win. You got your initial win. So that first 300%, I got my money off the table. Now I'm out of this investment. This is now house money. I can gamble with it as I see fit. If it goes to zero, I didn't, off paper, lose anything. The money that I worked for is out of that position. That's the first thing, is knowing when and how to get out. And I always advocate dollar cost averaging out, because I'd rather do that than hope that it goes up another 300% or another 100%. And then it just goes down, and then I sell at a loss, which is what a lot of people do. They ride. And then once it starts tanking, they're thinking it's going to bounce back up, and then it's actually just tanking. And now you're out. You're wiped out on that position. You're selling at a loss. You have now lost your money. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I think is vitally important, and I'm just freestyle winging this one today, that I think is vitally important, is not only have an exit strategy, have an exit strategy into what? And this is a fundamental difference in the way that I look at money and assets versus the way most people look at money and assets. Because I see a lot of people, they go, oh, well, I'm going to go sell my Bitcoin and I'm going to go buy a luxury SUV, or I'm going to go sell my Bitcoin and I'm going to go buy a bunch of Jordans. I'm going to get that Gucci belt that I always wanted. I want to get some blinged out jewelry. I'm going to impress people that don't care about me, to let everyone know I'm good. And I don't manage my money that way. And so a lot of times when people start telling me stuff like this, I have a look of concern and annoyance. Those are the two faces. I have a bad poker face that I get when I hear people coming out of a market of any asset, to be honest. Unless you're in retirement. Like if you're in retirement, do what you want. You about up out of here anyway. So I understand. But I don't speak to that. And it's just because I don't believe in exchanging an asset for a doodad or a doohickey or something that's going to go down in value or not be worth anything or not go up in value ever again. Because I feel like that's just throwing the asset away. And I understand it's a convoluted way to look at things, but it's the way that I look at things. And generally speaking, for somebody who's not supposed to be in the position or have the wealth that I have, I'd say that it works. It's pretty counterintuitive to what everybody else who's broke is doing, or pretending to not be broke is doing, that are actually not worth anything. So I think it works. I'm going counter the crowd, and most of the crowd is broke, and hoping that they can vote somebody in that's going to help them pay for their stuff or make their lives better. And I just make my own life better. So I use income to buy things. Like I have specific things that are just for income, and like those things are used partially to buy things. So if I was going to cash in Bitcoin outside of the accelerated savings, because I know when I did the portfolio drop down there, there's a new one that's the new car portfolio because I'm saving up some of my down payment cash. Actually, I'm going to be saving up all my down payment cash because of when I'm buying in Bitcoin, because it's going to go up in value faster than putting it in the savings account and having it be dollars, or putting it in the stock market and having it be a stock share that I then have to sell off, or putting it in, a high yield dividend ETF, which will produce income, but in the circumstance that I'm needing it, like the timing that I'm needing it, that also won't help me. It's just not an effective means of vehicle for the window that I'm in because it's bull season. We've got the house upgrade savings because we want large chunks of money, and that done took over everything. We've got the car savings that we're going to be doing because that's going to be another large purchase where I'm trying to get as much as I can for as far as like putting the cash in, because I'm trading in a vehicle, but I'll also be wanting like a large cash down payment because I'm not having a car payment for more than 36 months at max. And that's at max. I'm going to try to carve that down a little bit because we'll have the income portfolio when I'm ready to purchase should be at a certain level to where it's producing a pretty good amount of income, to where if I needed to, I can shift over to that after we pay taxes and just have that grind that car down very fast, which is likely going to be what we're doing, because I really don't want it to come out of my I'm going to work income. I don't want to have to worry about that. So what we'll likely be doing is going through getting the car stuff handled and going at it that route. But outside of that, if I'm exchanging Bitcoin, it needs to be for an asset. Now, there are some things that I'm mulling around of, like potentially taking 1% of my portfolio value and kicking it over into the income portfolio every year to just continue to generate that income, because we're on a Bitcoin standard. So like as we're getting that appreciation, it allows me to pull something out to then transition over into an income producing asset that also feeds back into that same pool. We're considering doing that. Like that is on my list of considerations. But we'll see. I mean, I don't even know if I want to do that. I don't like selling off my Bitcoin. I really don't, just because from a growth standpoint, like that's as growthy as I need, to be honest. So I look at moving an asset to another asset. So like if I was to sell off a good chunk of Bitcoin, it would be to buy an investment property, to buy a property, something like that. Set up another house hack, kind of like what I've got now. Something like that. Income portfolio. Some other asset. Adding in maybe my long-term stock holding to get that portfolio going up. Maybe. I don't know. But that's what I would be looking for if I were to be looking to sell off a chunk of my Bitcoin. I understand people tell me all the time, like, well, Ray, if you don't sell it, you're not, if you don't ever cash out, you're not really wealthy. I'd be like, well, you tell Warren Buffett that. Tell Charlie Munger that. Tell BlackRock that, because they don't sell anything. There's other ways to do things besides just giving up assets that people don't want to talk about because they don't want the peasants using money the way that the 1% and the ultra wealthy and the people that are generationally wealthy forever are training their kids to use money. So no, I don't really have a qualm about not selling. I don't care about impressing people right now. When it's time to impress people, you impress them then. That's the way I've always looked at it. But that's like I said, potato, but you should have a succession plan. So for me, when I'm getting out of my riskier positions, I'm deleveraging down into my long-term positions, which are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. That's the play that I make. So like every year I shoot out all the chum to go into the bull run, capture as much value as I can, and then consolidate that down into my 3 long-term positions, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. And then, I research it not annually, every bull run to see if there's something that I believe has earned a spot that needs to go into one of my long-term ledgers. But generally speaking, it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. Like, those are the ones where I'm like, that's fine sitting there. I don't mind watching it sit, doing its thing. I'm fine with it. And yeah, we go and take a look at that and do what we got to do. Outside of that, I've got a little bit of money on the side that I'm playing the longs and shorts. Shorts are very small just to cover the dips if I get wiped out on a long. I'm pretty sure I got wiped out on a couple of longs already. There's no more money going in that portfolio, so if I whittle it down to zero and just crap out on it, then that's on me. I'm not a good trader, never claimed to be, but I can follow a trend. I can see and follow a trend. So some of these windows that we're getting in, I'm throwing a little bit of money into that, but outside of that, we are buying our bull run altcoin positions up, getting them to that $1,000 marker so that way we can let them ride, see what they do. And then just sitting back, watching and waiting until we hit about 200, 300%, start rolling some of those positions out. All the positions that we can, we're trying to get a little bit of income generated on, but we have a traditional finance portfolio for that now. Much better options over there, much less volatility than in the crypto space. And you're not waking up going, oh, I got wiped out on that. So that there's not any insta zeros over there. So that's also a plus. Next thing on the list. So we talked about having a plan for when you're going to cash out and just not riding stuff all the way up, then all the way down as it horrendously crashes to zero. Or, well, I guess it doesn't go less, but to zero, like losing your money, watching yourself lose your money. Nothing makes a person who thought they knew what they were doing in the market that was talking trash on the internet humbled faster than watching an investment where you were up $24,000 go to where you barely walked out with $6,000 because you rode the roller coaster down as well. Like it's just it's not a good feeling. So I'd recommend not doing it. Also having a backup plan for what you're doing with the income as you're cashing out. So you don't just go blow it on stupid stuff and also just walk away with a car that you can't afford to maintain because you were rich during the season. And then the maintenance on the car is expensive. Car maintenance is expensive, y'all. And it's going up because none of you want to be mechanics. So something to think about. You want to be able to get some money, lots of overtime and get to the bag, be a mechanic. There's not enough of them. But also with that, just don't go blow your money on stupid stuff. Don't go get a car that you can't afford to maintain with your regular ass job. Also, don't quit your regular ass job. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Like you got to have a plan to quit your job. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back, which is actually going to be harder than quitting the first time. Like there's nothing worse than having a big ego and having to go back. I remember my second bull run when I was doing pretty good. I had some pretty good runs and people were like, oh, well, like if you're doing it like that, then like, why aren't you? It was when I bought my house, paid my car off and paid off all the consumer debt I had at the time. And people were like, oh, well, like if you got it like that, then why don't you just quit your job? Why don't you just quit then? And I was very honest about it. I was like, because I'll have to go back. Like this doesn't seem like it's going to be sustainable forever. Like I'm not quitting to go back. Like, why would I want to be off for 2 years and then have to go back to work? Like, I don't want to go back to work after I'm off for a week. I don't want to go back. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to go to this place. Like, this is stupid. It's a waste of my time. I'd rather go to the gym. I can think of like 90 other things that I would rather do. The other flip side of that is after I'm not at work for so long, I want to be at work. Not going to lie. Like, I'm not built for just sitting around indefinitely. What I would like, though, is to not have to go to work. My best, most happiest, enjoyable years at my job have been the ones during the bull run, specifically last bull run, when I blatantly just didn't have to fucking go in there. I loved it. It was the best feeling ever. I walked in there every day with my chest out, like talking my shit. I loved it. It was a great couple of years. Because I didn't have to be there. Like I had money coming in. There was money just coming in everywhere. My cup ranneth over. I like that feeling. I was more engaged. I was less annoyed. Everything annoys you when you got to be there. Everything annoys you when you got bills. It was just that window of time. So this bull run, we're trying to put ourselves in position. That's the reason we started the income portfolio. We're dabbling on some stuff outside of crypto that's gonna, if I'm playing my cards right, for a longevity as far as like floating me off into the sunset of not having to go to work ever again, are going to be this year going into 2025 are going to be the foundations of that. That's what my focus is on now. Like you don't see my portfolio filled up with a bunch of meme coins. Like I don't even have like a meme coin sector. I mean, if I have enough time, I'd like to throw a couple of like $100 into like 5 different meme coins, do like a $500 meme coin position. And we might do that. We might do like a little $500 meme coin position and see what that rolls into and what it turns into and see if we can make anything out of it. But that's about all I got out of my portfolio, which is infinitesimal. Like it's not even 1% of the portfolio, because at this point, like I know the trajectory that portfolio is on. So I'm going to make the plays I'm going to make as we get into this next 2 bull runs. But if it's not this one, it should be the next one. That should be $1 million. That portfolio should be $1 million. Like set. Just never touching it. Set and forget. And after that, it's going, hey, can I make enough income to do what I need to do? And then if I need to dip into something, that crypto will be there. And then hopefully getting into a region to where I can start leveraging my Bitcoin again, because unfortunately they took that away in the US and they're taking their sweet time about bringing it back. So yeah, until it comes back, I'm really not keen on selling it outside of the little short-term savings window stuff that we're using Cash App for. Outside of that, like I'm not really interested in touching any of my crypto. Like that's long-term holdings. I've been doing it for over 11 years now. I don't need to touch it. I don't put myself in positions where I need to touch it, but it's going to be a good foundation to have there. I almost look at it like a 401k, except for I don't get penalized for touching it. I just got to pay taxes. Not bad. So we're looking at that. You got to have that long-term plan. You also, with that, I mentioned my long-term holdings. Everybody should have long-term holdings. And I think that everyone should have Bitcoin and Ethereum both as long-term holdings. So I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. Like that's almost insane if you're going, yeah, I'm going to hold this coin for 20 years and Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't your 1 and 2. I think it should be a 1 and 2. And then you get like maybe, as far as long-term, what you're holding in cold storage for the run, for the duration, you're holding it for years. You cannot look at it and worry about what it's doing, because you know every 4 years when the bull run comes back around, you're going to be sitting in a better place than where you were. The only 2 coins that you can say that about right now, the only 2 are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, for me, Chainlink, I like it because it's an infrastructure project. It performs pretty well. You get a little bit more taste, a little bit more spice on it during the bull runs. But like that's also an infinitesimal part of the long-term holding portfolio. Like that's just in there. And like I do grade that every year. I'm like, do I think it's going to continue to be around? Do I think it's going to continue to appreciate in value? Is it still being used? And the answer is always yes. But like I'm also going, you gotta, that's the spot where things compete for. But me personally, I wouldn't have over 5 coins. And if your lion's share isn't Bitcoin and Ethereum in some form or fashion, then I really think that you are either extremely delusional or you're just very uneducated about the space, or you're very arrogant and you're just mad you can't have 5+ Ethereum. You're mad you're fighting to get a whole Bitcoin and you can't have a whole one. So you're buying some other cheap coin and saying, oh yeah, I'm going to hold this for 20 years because you can get 1,000 of them so that you can feel like you're doing something. And your portfolio the whole time is like worth jack. It's worth squat. Don't be that person. I've been that person. It doesn't pay. Like, just so you know, like that doesn't play out well long term. It just doesn't. So something to think on. But yeah, I'd say you should probably have anywhere from, I mean, honestly, you could have it be one as long as it's Bitcoin or Ethereum. Like, I have to reiterate that because those are the coins with the staying power. Those are the coins with the highest utilization. Those are the coins that have been legitimized as far as American traditional finance. But globally, Ethereum is the most used network. Bitcoin is used for all sorts of stuff all over the world. It's being adopted by countries. Ethereum, it's the hub. Look up the Ethereum. Ethereum has a foundation of companies that have invested in the infrastructure of Ethereum and make sure that the developers continue to get paid, that there's constantly stuff going on infrastructurally for themselves within the Ethereum ecosystem. It's the Ethereum Alliance Foundation. Look it up, see who's on it, and then look up any other coin and see if they've got a foundation that is equal to that, or a foundation period that's public and doxed and actual legitimate companies. Not saying that other coins aren't good to invest in. I'm just saying from a long-term perspective, as being in here for 11 years, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the stalwarts. I could see a play for XRP. They've been around for a long time and survived the most horrendous lawsuits ever. So that could be another one. But there just has to be some sort of foundation where it's like, yeah, we're going out, we're going to be in the market, and then after everything goes crazy, but like we're condensing back down into this, and like this is what we're taking forward, so we have something to show for it. Because the people who've been trying to just sit on Shiba Inu, not in a good spot. I'm just saying. Doge, same story. Oh yeah, this is going to beat Ethereum. This is going to do da. Yeah, still hoping to get to $1, huh? Cool story, bros. Like, let me know when that plays out. Like, what's the long game on that? It just doesn't make sense. It's also not applicable. It's an apple and oranges comparison, and yeah, they're just not doing the same thing. Like, my biggest holding right now is Solana. I don't believe Solana is an ETH killer because, as a liquidity provider, as somebody who's actually on these chains, I can see it's also very transparent. You can see the traffic on these chains. You can see which ones are being used. You can pull up DeFi Llama and look at the DeFi utilization on these chains. And the second most used chain, as much as I hate to say it, is Tron, which is another project I'm not invested in any longer because it's BS. I don't think it's going to have the staying power, but that's the next closest contender. Solana is nowhere close to the utilization of Ethereum. Period. Like, it's like a long shot. Like, the fact that people talk about it as though it is, when there's literally noted metric data on the amount of funds that are locked, the funds that are being used, and Ethereum is still Big Daddy. Even on their worst day, they're not close. On Tron's best day at second place, it is never close to wiping out Ethereum. Oh, well, Solana had days where it had more transactions. Okay. Had a busy day. Great. One. Like, and we always hear about it. The one. Solana outdid Ethereum today. It's never Solana outdid Ethereum this month. Hey, look at these pie charts showing the DeFi lockups, because I have money locked up on Solana. When it's working, it's great. It's a little bit clunky sometimes. Ethereum's fees are annoying. These are all known knowns, but all the money is on Ethereum. All the energy is on Ethereum. Like, Solana has a lot of energy for meme coins and the meme coin culture because it's cheap to transact on there, so people can get on there and gamble like degenerates. They also have some really dope DeFi stuff. Because I use the DeFi. I'm not on there gambling with memes. But the traffic and liquidity and ease of transaction is nowhere close to Ethereum. It's just faster when it's up. It also crashes. So, like, there's also that. Like, I mean, it's an apples and oranges comparison. But for the bull run, I know that all the kids coming in, they're leveraging that degenerate gambling on Solana. So Solana's the play. It's going to be busy. Value on it's going to go up. People are investing in it because they're going, oh, well, like, this is what I use when it works. Like, I get it. I use it too. I'm gonna capitalize on that, and I'm gonna take those gains. I'm gonna convert them over into Ethereum, and like, that's just what my plan is. But there needs to be a long-term plan, and it seems like a lot of people who come into the cryptocurrency space, especially first timers, the noobs, the normies, as they're starting to find out about this space and come in here, it's all very short term. And I can tell you straight up, the people that are trying to get rich tomorrow, I'm not even going to be a hater. You're probably going to get rich tomorrow, and then you're going to lose it all because you're going to think that you know something because you came in and got an easy win, and you're going to ride it until you don't have as much as you should have had. That's probably what's going to happen. That's what happens to most of you. And then you're going to make all these posts about buying the dip as you're losing tens of thousands of dollars a week that you had previously gained. And then you're going to walk out of it with nothing. And then you're still going to have to be a cocktail waitress. And it's going to suck. It's going to suck. And then you're not going to post about your dog coin anymore. I know. I'd be keeping track because I'm in this market. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be really sad because you're just like, bro, like the trash that you was talking last week, if you do the math on that, you just lost $5,000. And now you're posting about putting another $8,000 in to buy the dip. And then it dropped 50% the next week. That hurts. That sounds like all your money. And it never went back up. Like it's rough, dude. Rough to go buy a bunch of coins with dogs on it. Like if you had money like that, imagine if you would have just bought Ethereum. You'd be sitting good right now with passive income and not having to be a cocktail waitress. So, to each their own, but the people who survive in this market, sometimes we kind of got a little idea up here. And I'm not saying don't have your fun. I'm saying have a plan for when you win, because once we get into the bull run, it will be next to impossible unless you allowed yourself to get hard scammed to not win for a little while. Question is, are you going to walk out of this bull run with anything to show for it? Is your net worth going to be better? Are you going to be better positioned than what you were before you walked in? These are the questions that we've got to be asking, because that's actually what's important. I don't want you to be rich for a week. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get out here, and if you make a play and you win, you shouldn't talk your trash. Secure the win though. Don't have to stop posting because you got $0 now because you rode that coin all the way to zero at the end of the bull market, and like now you don't have anything to show for it. You was rich for a minute, ain't even got nothing. There's nothing long term, nothing carrying over to the next bull run. Get a lot of experience. That's a real expensive class. I've paid for it. I've paid for it a couple of times. And you don't want to pay those fees consistently. Like there's people who are just going to be broke forever because they can't manage money, and they refuse to learn how to manage money, and they refuse to be disciplined, and they refuse to do anything besides get at the gambling table and just hope they blow up and win on 8. And sometimes they do win, but they don't keep it. And my deal is, I don't want anyone to have to go back. I don't want anyone in the wolf pack to have to go back. I want us to go forward. I want us to get to these mountaintops. I don't want us to have to roll down the hill to start pushing the boulder back up the hill again. We got to start shifting our focus. We got to start looking to set things up so that we win forever. So that we don't have to go back to what we were doing. So that we don't have to go back to that job you don't want to go to. So you don't have to go back to that state where you have to worry about, hey, how am I managing this bill versus this bill? And how are we doing this? And what are we moving over here? I don't want you to have to go back to that. But if you don't have a plan, you are high likely going to go back. There has to be a system in place for that money when it comes in, because money doesn't stay with bad stewards. If you're bad with your money, it will leave you. It doesn't want to be around you. It's like, oh, this dude's a loser. We're out of here. Money is very much a winners only, has a winners only attitude. It's like, you're a loser? Oh, we got to get up out of here. Like, go put this man in front of some Gucci belts. Put him in a Versace robe. Tell him he's got to go get a Tesla to impress everybody. Because money don't want to be around losers. So then you're in a game where you just eating hand to mouth and you're telling everybody they got to go get the bag instead of just being rich. You're talking about income. You're not talking about wealth. And we're not doing that over here in the Wolfpack. We're dealing in permanence. Even in these fast, you can hit those big wins and end up with some money quick in crypto. Not gonna lie, it's the best horse in the race. Bitcoin in and of itself is the best horse in the race. We've gone over this multiple episodes on both of my channels. It's the best horse in the race. So yes, it is more efficient and more effective for building wealth, period. But even still, you have to have a plan and a level of discipline. I'd say a higher level of discipline because the numbers go up so fast. Like I've done what takes people a decade in basically 4 years with the Bitcoin investment alone. And what I've done in a decade normally takes people 2 and 3 decades to piece together to get the momentum that I've got going. So it is faster, but you also have to be very disciplined. You have to be very methodical. You have to be very detail and plan oriented and able to stick to a plan and actually follow it. And do I follow it perfectly? Absolutely not. And I'm also tweaking it. I have a whole video series where we're just messing with financial stuff and figuring out how it works and implementing it. So like we're constantly testing stuff. We're constantly retooling. We're constantly tweaking to get it to be as efficient as possible, not to get rich tomorrow, because nothing that I'm doing is a tomorrow base. It's I'm going to do this for at minimum the next year. And then this is the plan for the next 5 years. And like, this is what we're looking at for this next decade. The smallest time window I'm usually looking at is a year. Most people who come into the crypto space, their time window is a few months at best, a week, with the way that with the investments that they make. And they don't have to say that, but it's just like, you're telling me you're investing in a dog with a hat on and a cat named Bob, and you're talking about years with this, and you think that you're going to be a millionaire in years with this. Like, no, you think you're going to be a millionaire at some point tomorrow, between tomorrow and next week, because we know what the meme coin space is. It's not a long-term play. Like, you're trying to game the market. You're trying to do something. You're in and out. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to go back to $30,000, which is next to impossible next to a black swan event. You don't build your investment portfolio or your investment strategy around black swan events. You take advantage of them, but you don't plan on it. Like, that's not part of the plan. It's like, oh, this fortunate thing happened, and hopefully I've got some money, or I'm in a position to go make some money. We're gonna leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely tap in with me down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I'll be letting you guys know as I release these branch off channels. We'll probably be doing them one at a time. Like, I'll get it set up. So like this week we might do one. Next week we'll do the other one. Oh my goodness. Good sneeze there. And yeah, we're gonna keep it rocking. So probably I'm actually I don't know which one I'm gonna do first. It depends on which one I make the email. I might do them both at the same time. Well, we don't know. But until next time, folks, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we will see you next week. Definitely make sure to hit that like button on your way in and or out. Definitely hit the share. Share this with your friends, your family, anyone else, anyone who's considering crypto, getting into crypto, that needs to know about crypto and needs to know it from somebody who's in the trenches, getting it out the mud with you, that's not sitting up here from the mountaintop, that's not consistently just shilling BS like we're having the conversation. And just letting you know how it is for somebody who's, been in the space for over 11 years now. It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero. If you haven't subscribed yet, I welcome you to join the Wolfpack. Tap in with us. Hit that subscribe button. Till next week, I'm out. Peace.
Money moves, gotta hustle, gotta grind. In this game, no room for the blind. Crypto's the wave, the key to the grind. Transfer that wealth, it's time to climb. Blockchain buzzing, time to make a move. Invest in the future, can't afford to lose. Learn the game, gotta play it right. On the right side, we take it flight. Punch the clock, working hard day and night. Gotta stay focused, keep that mind tight. Crypto, wealth transfer, we want it all. Rise to the top, never hit a wall. Oh,